So you get the part. You guys filmed it all in 1971. The movie comes out, I want to say, like March 72, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere in there? Okay. What was your first experience on set? I assume you had like a giant cast meeting before you ever go to film and stuff like that, where you meet the rest of the cast? Like, what did the other actors think of you?
That is a classic. The only saving grace for me, I would have probably got fired. The first cast meeting was 119th Street, Patsy's. Now, I used to go up there all the time because I used to bring overnight loans up there for Costello. Because, you know, that's Fat Tony Salerno's place. Oh, yeah. And they had Ziggurat games and all that. So when they put the call sheet out that's where the thing, you know, the rehearsal's going to be, I go. And I had that time, I had a 65 Bentley with a Chinese chick chauffeur. I'm wearing Brioni suits already. So I go up there earlier because I wanted to see Tony Federici, Danny Pagano, all these really guys were there all the time in the afternoon. So they said to me, "What are you doing here so early?" I said, "I'm here for the movie." I said, "Well, the Godfather movie?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm acting. I got a big part." They said, "Are you crazy? Get out of here." And everybody I used to say until the movie came out, they thought I was lying about it. Which only leads me to what happens with me and Brando in here. You can't believe this story. I'm shocked you didn't hear this one.
I've heard this one.
Okay.
But you got to tell it on the podcast for people that haven't.
So now, you know.
I didn't realize this was the very first.
Before they bring Brando into the room, the whole cast is there. We're all in line and family, and they said, "We're just going to read the script, and, you know, there's no acting. We're going to go through it. Everybody get familiar." But most important, all the Italians, we want you to exaggerate your hand gestures, your eating habits. We're going to have food because the non-Italians, like James Caan being Jewish, Marlon Brando being Polish, has to become Italian the next 5 days in these rehearsals. Mm. And then they said, "Now we're going to bring him in. Don't have any eye contact with him during the breaks. I know you all want to talk to him."
Brando?
Brando. "Don't go near him." Me, I don't care. I'm just happy to be there. I mean, you know, we go through the rehearsal, like 45 minutes, going to take a break. Brando comes walking over to me. And I'm looking around, where's he coming? He's coming to me. He says, "You're a big TV actor." I said, "No." He says, "You got a big movie coming out." I said, "No." He says, "Well, you're not on Broadway. I know everybody on Broadway." I said, "You're right again. What's this, a quiz show?" Because I ain't going to be intimidated by Brando. What do I care?
You're not even an actor.
Guess what he says, though? He calls Coppola over. He says, "Francis, this guy's not an actor." And Coppola didn't hire me. Coppola did not hire me. Joe Colombo hired me.
Yeah.
And he rolled his eyes. He knew I wasn't an actor. He says, and I never broke down the script. He says, "This guy marries my daughter, undermines my family, gets my oldest son, Sonny, killed, gets my son, Michael, involved in the business. You got to rethink this. You got to fire him."
And you're standing right there.
I'm standing there. Now, I don't know protocol. I don't know. I can't dismiss Coppola. He's the director. I said, "Francis, do me a favor. Go over there, man." And he goes. Now the whole room, all these thespians that know all this, they're all saying, like, "Who's this guy?" You know, Sterling Hayden's dead. Richard Conte, these are major actors.
Yes.
Now I create a sacrilege. I put my arm around Brando. I said, "Come over here. I want to talk to you." Because I didn't want to embarrass the guy. And I knew there was no Ziggurat game in the back. So I get him out of earshot. I'm face to face with him. I said, "Let me tell you something, Mr. Brando. All due respect, I know who you are. But you get me fired. You get me fired from here, I will suck on your heart. You will bleed out. You hear me?" And he's looking at me. He steps back. He says, "That was brilliant."
That was excellent.
He thought I was acting. I was ready to take the bomb out. I couldn't go back to the neighborhood if I didn't get the part after this.
He's like, "That guy will do. He's good. He can act."
And we became very close friends.
Did he actually think you were acting? Like doing that?
Did he? I'm telling you what he did. Dick Smith, his makeup man, he's on every film with him. Took him 3 hours every day to transport him into that.
Yeah.
He used, and you couldn't go near the dressing room, you couldn't do none of that. And we were on the compound up there in Staten Island.
That's where they
in
filmed
the
where his
houses,
house was. Yeah,
but
yeah.
we were using them as dressing rooms, the interiors. And he used to go get that kid, and we'd run lines. He came on the set on time for me to shoot. He wasn't working that day when Pacino and I were going to do that scene. And you could see the ADs. Number one's who told number one to come? They were all, and he said, "I'm here to help that kid."
Wow. You were getting lessons from the greatest actor to ever fucking do it.
Because when he said to me, and it's on screen now, is when he hands you the airline ticket, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. He said, I want you to look at the ticket. You read the script. You know you're going to die, but you can't telegraph that. You're on an 18-foot screen. They're going to see it. You got to think. So you got to look at that ticket like it's a security blanket. Wow. You're going to get out of here. I'm really going to get to Vegas. So that was that whole thing. And then when you tear up, and no, I mean, now I'm an actor, but I'm sitting there, I'm saying, how am I going to do this?
I remember the first time when I was a kid and researching because I was obsessed with the movie and finding out who you were and finding out that you had never acted before and that. And I was blown away because I can't see anyone else doing that role. I mean, I'm sure some great actors could have done it, but you nailed it. I mean, everything felt method actory. You know what I mean? Like it felt very real. Obviously, we all know the visceral, nasty scene where you got to beat up your wife in the movie and everything. But you just embodied the whole thing. But to hear the backstory of that last scene,
that's it. He did it.
That's amazing because to me, like that's what makes the actors great. Making things simple and relatable at the same time. And that's exactly what he was telling you to do. You nailed it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And, it's so funny because, as we sit here and talk about it even now, it's like, that, I don't know what I would be doing today if I was not in that movie. Is that crazy to say?
No, it's not, because you were a young man when this was happening, and this set your whole life on a whole different.
Yeah.
You had a major part in, hands down, without question, the greatest thing ever captured on film, artistically. Yeah. I mean, do you ever pinch yourself with that? Just like, holy shit.
Well, I think about it all the time. I mean, my house is surrounded by Godfather.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
But and it's not over.
No, and they obviously they've put it in the American Film Institute, the official role that they did, but they've retouched it up over the years. You watch it now, minus the one part that they can't retouch because it's in the archives where Sonny's hand misses your face. Right. That's like the only mistake in the whole movie.
They can't touch it because it's once I found this out, the 25th anniversary. We'll go to San Francisco. Yeah. And we're watching the movie, and the thing is still in there. I said, Francis, why didn't you recut that? He said, we can't touch the negative because it's an Academy Award winner. And
that's what's crazy is that the one mistake is in that scene where we can probably put this in the corner of the screen, Alessi, but where Sonny is beating you up, and they have the side shot of Jimmy Caan where his fist misses the front of your face.
And I react to it.
Yeah, and you're like, ah! Yeah. But
and you know what's so funny? We had that covered. There was 7 cameras rolling from the root, everything.
But also the scene was didn't he really hurt you in this scene?
Oh my God, yeah, he did. Jimmy
he missed you on that shot, but the irony is he was really hitting you and shit.
Well, the way he really hit me was with the garbage pail covers. They were steel.
Oh,
so he chipped my elbow. And then I knew I had to crawl out because we choreographed it the day before. There was like 17 different camera setups from the porch where I realized run across the street. Then he throws me over the banister, and then he beat him. And then I had to crawl out at the end of the scene when he drop kicks me and rolls me over to the hydrant. Now, we had that all down. As soon as he touched me, I rolled. He lifted me up and broke 2 ribs that day. No, he hated me.
Now, you're the background there. You and Jimmy Caan from the get-go didn't get along. Why was that?
I found out later on because Jimmy Caan, as I said earlier, was cast as Michael.
Yeah, you can see his tryout tape for that. That's on the internet.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
He thought me taking the part and everybody getting involved, that's how he got the smaller part of Sonny. Sonny was gone halfway through the first one. Couldn't come back.
I don't think. Do you think Coppola would have ever stuck with him for Michael though? Because he didn't look the part.
No way.
Right?
But that was Bobby Evans wanted him. Because don't forget, he just did Brian Piccolo. He had all the TVQ stuff.
Yeah.
They were looking at box office movie stars. Ryan O'Neal was up for it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
was he a dick to you from the start, though?
Oh, from the start.
Like the first day you were in Patsy's was just giving you the cold shoulder?
Well, from day one, always. Like I was one of them, you know.
Got it.
Yeah.
But the
Robert
FBI,
Duvall and what?
The FBI opened a file on him, apparently. I don't know if this is like, I've heard
because
this.
Because of Junior Persico.
Yeah, because he was hanging out with all the mobsters.
Oh, you don't hold it. I'll tell you another story when Tommy Bilotti was with me and Boozy DeChico. You know the last name, Frankie Boy DeChico, who got shot down in Brooklyn, the underboss. Well, Boozy DeChico was a boss in the Gambino family. And I was out with him. I know the guy 100 years. So I'm with Tommy Bilotti, Boozy DeChico, in Gillies on 52nd Street on a Saturday night. We're at the front bar. Jimmy comes out, and he says, Junior's in the back, and he wants you to come and say hello. He's with his daughter. I know Junior 100 years. So I go back there, we hug, we kiss, and Junior had nobody knew, he had a gimp hand. So we had something in common with polio. So I'm looking at her, and then I turn around and said, Junior, your daughter's gorgeous, my God. And he looked at me, and one thing about him, he telegraphs. And I said, Jimmy just set me up. And I left. So before going back to the bar, I went down to the stairs. So as soon as I go down the stairs, I don't catch it. They're behind me. Two of Junior's guys follow me down. Tommy Bilotti catches it. Goes down. I'm at the urinal. They come in. One guy stands in the door on the inside. And the guy in the urinal, hey, asshole, you just embarrassed Junior. That's his girlfriend, not his daughter. And just as I say that, Tommy, I don't know if he hit it with his shoulder or whatever, but he pushed, the bathrooms are narrow, pushed the guy, get his head, and bangs it on the sink.
Oh. A little jujitsu.
He said, now what are you going to do? He said, oh, this punk and banging against him. He says, what's this about? And he said, well, he went to the table, and it was Junior's girl. He said, well, your friend, your Jewish friend, told him that Junior was there with his daughter. By this time now, Boozy's there. So Boozy goes upstairs. They could talk, Junior and him, because they're both made guys. Everybody else wasn't made yet. So they go in the kitchen in Gillies. Next, they call Jimmy. Jimmy goes back there and you hear, pa, pa. Junior smacks him twice.
Oh, I thought it was a gun sound first.
No. Smacks him. So we walk back, and he apologized to me, Junior. He said, Johnny, I'm sorry. This guy wants to hang around with me to learn. He's playing this part. I said, I know him. He said, well, I'm going to teach you something, Jimmy. Junior says to him, he said, now they own you. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, you did something here. This guy is a friend of ours. Johnny's a friend of ours. You're a friend on the street. But
he said friend of ours?
Yeah, meaning me.
Yeah, interesting, though. Interesting language choice there.
So Tommy wanted to kill him that night. I said, Tommy, we're shooting the movie. You're killing the movie's over. And Tommy got right in his face. I own you that. You heard him say it. I own you. I'll get even with you. Never happened, but. And
so James was hanging out with some of these guys, though.
All the time.
Yeah, he got really into
John
it.
Mush, Russo, Pussy, all those guys.
Can you pull up Junior Persico, if you don't mind, Alessi?
Oh, Junior was a major guy in him.
He didn't die that long ago.
No.
Right? That was pretty recent. Yeah. He was down with Madoff in prison, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, because he was in the big '86 RICO trial, right? That was where there was the 5 bosses.
Yep.
I forget what they called that. Yeah, there he is.
There he
Carmine
is.
Persico. God, what a bulb on him.
Oh, my God.
He could smoke a cigarette in the rain with a hand tied behind his back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tough guy, though.
So, yeah, well, I mean, he was the boss of the family. Definitely a tough son of a bitch. But, so you and James didn't get along. So when you were doing, how long was that shoot that where he comes to beat up your character? Did that take all day?
Oh, yeah. I was hurt, but I figured,
You just kept going.
my first movie. No, I wanted to do it. So we
Yeah.
did it. I ain't going to complain. Even when he came out of the car and threw that stick at me, that wasn't in the rehearsals. He got a billy stick and cut it in half, and he must have been practicing all night.
Come here.
Yeah. He threw it and it hit me right on the head. One take.
Oh, my God. Who else in the cast did you get along with really well, at least?
Pacino was very nice. We had a lot of scenes together, so it was easy. But other than that, I mind my own business because, I was making so much money. I was making the calls. Nobody knew this. I can say it now.
What do you mean you were making the calls?
Well, we had 700 people up there for the weddings. The wedding scene.
The wedding scene in the movie. Yeah.
Well, they were all 700 people, right? So I'm looking around, and then we had a union delegate up there, and he's looking at everything. So I went down, I called on him, because we had no soda to drink, no water to drink, nothing. Because then what they'd have to do, when they say roll them, everybody had to get rid of the plastic cup. They're not plastic cups. So they came to me, because I knew everything on Staten Island. Said, how can we get cases of soda up here and all that? I said, what's the budget? We take care of it? I said, yeah. You want it served? They said, yeah. So I went to community college. It was Staten Island Community College, right down the street where we were on the unit parking lot. And I went to the drama class. I said, you guys want to come on the set? Because it was a closed set. They said, yeah, you have to serve soda. Be quiet. And you follow them. They were paying me $18. I was buying this soda for $6-7 on Highland Boulevard.
So you were running a little scheme right there.
Oh, even the wedding cakes. They had to get a wedding cake.
I make your daughter a bigger cake.
Yeah. So I said, Rosa, I got La Rosa. So I went to La Rosa's Bakery down on Olympia Boulevard in South Beach. I said, you want to make the cake for the wedding? He said, oh, yeah. I said, they ain't paying you nothing for it.
You just got to make it.
They gave me $1,500 for the cake. And then they needed 2. They needed 1 for cutting. They needed for the set. I had a styrofoam.
So he made
I made like $6,000-7,000 on cakes.
God. Now, what's that conversation like with Coppola? Like, Frank, I got the cake. Relax. Is that it?
Yeah, no, not even him. It was the set designer.
Don't worry about it. I got the cake.
They said, go see Johnny. He knows everybody. And I took care of them a little, too.
And you got Morgana King, the wife of Vito, cast?
Yeah, because they needed a woman that could speak Sicilian.
Which is way different than regular Italian dialect.
That dialect, yeah.
Oh, it's different.
And I knew her well.
How did you know her?
Just from hanging out in New York in the clubs.
She killed it. She did a great job with that.
Yeah,
she was perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. And then also, you casted the musicians at the wedding, too?
Yeah.
You knew those guys?
Yeah. Well, a lot of them. And then Luca Brasi.
Oh, yeah. He was a real mobster.
Yeah. Lady Montana. He was a wrestler and a collector for the mob.
You don't say.
And they saw him. They loved him. And and this is a classic for your audience to know. When you digest the scene of Luca Brasi, he's a mobster killer, and he was his man. Why would he be rehearsing your script, Godfather? On your day of Water's wedding, I wish you would never. He was rehearsing his lines.
Yeah. And Frank thought it was good.
I closed in, shot it, put it in the movie. Nobody figured out why is this guy can't even supposedly read. How's he reading his script over and over?
Don Corleone.
Yeah.
I am grateful and honored. Oh my God, I'd heard that one before. That's the other one. Because like when I was in college, I had some people close to me who were telling me I needed to get into acting. So I looked at it. There was about a year there where I didn't really talk about it, but I thought about it, You know, I read Lee Strasberg's book, the whole bit, and I studied these guys. I watched every frame that Marlon Brando ever filmed, and he was, in my opinion, without question, the greatest to ever do it. But the genius of The Godfather to me, with him, was that he was at a point where he was kind of, you know, he was, as you said, and you would know a lot better than me, but he was a different kind of guy, right? And at that point, he had actually become a little bit within the studios persona non grata because he was a diva in some ways on the sets.
Well, he wanted certain things.
Yeah.
And demanded it, and they didn't want to use him no more.
But when he did this movie, a guy who has 0% Italian blood in him embodied the bulldog of what this is. And there's a famous picture, Leslie, I don't know if you can pull it up and put it in the corner of the screen, but if you type in Robert Duvall, Marlon Brando, script Godfather.
Oh, with the writing on them? Yeah.
Yes. So do you see a picture of, you see the one where Duvall's wearing the script? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So
he never studied his lines.
He didn't know a single fucking line.
No.
So when you watch the opening scene in that film, which is the greatest, I think Inglourious Basterds has the second greatest. The opening scene, 7 minutes of The Godfather, is the greatest opening to a movie ever done. I Believe in America, pulling it out for 4.5 minutes or 3.5 minutes, whatever it is, on the slow zoom, and you see this guy sitting around like, well, you found paradise in America, had a good trade, made it. And he's looking around in what feels like this thinking man's way. And yet, as I understand it, they had the cue cards all
everywhere.
Over the whole. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but you know what he did too? Because I got really close to him. He used to, and you know what I gave him as a gift?
What was that?
My Chinese chick driver. He took it back. She fell in love with him. They were dropping me off first, and then don't go to the Elysee Hotel. He was staying at the Elysee. And she stayed with him all night. And then at the end of the movie, I said, why don't you go? You know, she went Didn't
you get Al Ruddy one of those too? At one point? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Now, he loved Chinese Oriental girls too.
So he obviously liked you and was helping you out, but were you said you kind of stuck to yourself and everything, but I guess if he was teaching you along the way, were you hanging out with him a little bit?
Oh, I was with Brando every day.
Yeah.
Oh, when he was on the set, I was there every day. It was like a 3-hour lesson a day. Going over lines, going over talking. And that's another reason James Caan hated me. He wanted to be up his ass, and I'm with the guy. And I used to pick him up. We used to pick him up at the hotel.
Where was he staying? He
was at the Elysee. On 45th or something like that. He liked it there.
That's a little hike to Staten Island every day, though.
Yeah, but everybody was staying. The cast was staying at the Park Lane. Further up.
And you're living in New York at this time, right? Yeah.
No, I'd swing by and pick him up, and I'd have a bottle of Courvoisier in the morning. He'd have his coffee, and we'd sit there in the back with the tables open and drinking. And that's how the mooning started. Remember?
Keep with the mic. Sorry.
You heard about all the mooning, right?
When he would moon like other people in the cast?
They had a contest about mooning.
Yeah.
And how it started, going down Park Avenue, as you know, the red lights, you stop, red lights, you stop. So the station wagon, they had Robert Duvall, Jim Caan, I think Pacino, the top cast going to Staten Island. We're at a red light. One red light, they look. Two red lights, they look. After the fourth red light, Jimmy Caan stuck his ass out the window of the station wagon and mooned us. That's how the mooning started.
Oh, my God.
I think they were so immature mooning. I saw you crazy.
But he was like that, no? Like he was a really immature guy.
Oh my God,
yeah.
A jerk.
Yeah, and Brando was also.
He loved practical jokes.
Yes.
Well, Brando won the contest.
Is it with the Luca Brasi thing, the fuck you on the?
No, for the mooning.
Oh, on the mooning.
The weather, the wedding picture we were about to take, and he looks and he says, "Where's Michael?" And he wasn't there yet. He said, "No, we wait for Michael." He had his pants undone already. The whole wedding, the young kids are there. He mooned because it was, I forgot how many, you have to be the one that moons the most people or something like that. And he did. He mooned, the whole cast was there. Little kids, ring bearers, everybody.
Could you imagine doing that today? He'd be in prison.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be in prison.
And I mean, and his ass was nothing to look at, believe me. Oh, my God.
No, I can imagine that wasn't a sight to behold. Did you ever party with him?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you take him to some places?
No, that's why he stood at the Élysée. It's the monkey bar. He loved the monkey bar.
Wait, is that the same monkey bar I'm thinking of?
Yes. It's the only monkey bar in New York. It's between Madison and Park.
On what street?
On 45th, I want to say.
That's this. Fuck, I think I had an event there like 5-6 years ago. That's a good bar.
Great bar.
Great bar.
Well, he was staying there all the time. I mean, I'll tell you a little history about where we are here. You know,
in Hoboken.
Yeah. You know when they did On the Waterfront?
Oh, yeah, I was right over here.
They shot it here because they wanted the New York skyline.
Yeah, 4 blocks from here, literally.
Okay. You know who was tending bar? The bar he was in every night while he was waiting to shoot?
This would be in like 52, something like that? Is it a big name, I assume?
Dolly Sinatra, Frank's mother.
Oh, yeah.
Frank's mother.
And there's Frank right behind you on the wall.
He couldn't believe it. He was saying, like, because he loved Frank, obviously. And did you ever get to meet her at all?
No.
I know anything about her?
No.
She was like a truck driver.
Yeah.
Hey, an asshole, get the fuck over here. That's how she talked. And Frank wanted me to marry his daughter, Tina. She's the oldest daughter.
How did you know Frank?
Oh, man. Frank Sinatra, when you hear this story, you won't believe.
Try me.
I'm in a polio
I've heard some
ward.
today.
I'm in the polio ward. Nothing's happening. No TV, nothing. You're staring at ceilings. Dolores Barone, I was getting depressed. I got there August 9th. My birthday was coming December 12th. The night before my birthday, she brought me a transistor radio. Carlo Gambino sent me a transistor radio for my birthday. He said it fell off the truck.
Oh, yeah, because your family went way back with him.
Exactly,
Got it. Yeah.
And my uncle in Sicily.
Right.
My uncle was hung in 1948 when they were cleaning up Cosa Nostra. They hung him.
Wait, in 48?
Yeah. They would claim.
I thought they were more like that was post World War II when Carlo Vizzini helped them get across the island. They were still coming after
that was
him?
what's her name? That was Vito Genovese. No, the tough guys. Do you ever hear a guy called Grappa? He just died. I was at his funeral. 98 years old he was when he died.
Maybe, but it's not ringing a bell right now.
Well, you know, Grappa is the strongest liquor there is.
Yes.
Do you know why he got the name?
I assume somehow he ended someone's life.
No, you won't believe this. As a teenager, when they were doing all this cleaning up, they handcuffed him to a light pole while they were running around getting...
Like a lamppost, you mean?
A lamppost scene.
Yeah.
They handcuffed him to him. When they came back...
The lamppost is gone.
No. He cut off his own arm at the elbow, and his arm was still in the thing.
To get out of handcuffs. He cut off his own arm.
Cut his own arm, because everybody had knives then. But he cut off his own arm and then snapped it.
What were they arresting him for?
They were cleaning up. He was going to go away. Then he went into hiding forever. He just died. He was the world boss.
Wait, he was a zip?
He was the boss of bosses.
Over there?
Yeah. Oh, he never came
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Oh, he never came here, no.
All right. Whoa. But your uncle, was your uncle that got hung in 48?
Yeah.
So they were doing some, I didn't know about that. I thought they were more powerful than ever at that point.
There was a regime they wanted that was, I think they made a deal, to be honest with you.
Right.
They gave up some of the people they wanted to get rid of.
Got it. Because I was going to say, like Mussolini obviously went in and was cleaning house when he got in.
Yeah.
That's why, that was part of why Bonanno came over here and everything. Okay. Very interesting. But we were talking about this with Sinatra. So Carlo Gambino sends you a transistor radio while you're in the hospital.
Because I was getting depressed. She gives it to me the night before. December 11th. I turn the radio on 6 o'clock in the morning, and everything's about Sinatra. Frank Sinatra this, Frank Sinatra, humble beginnings from Hoboken. His father was Todd Shipyard. It's my birthday. And he's telling me about this. He inspired me to get out of that friggin' hospital because I was getting depressed.
Wow. That's cool.
And I figured if he could make it, I can make it. Spin forward 4 years later, I'm working for Costello. I get to the Copacabana. There's lines outside already.
Oh, wow.
I go down the kitchen, and he's doing a sound check. So he looks at me. He looks at Julie Bodell, like to say, who's this kid? And Julie Bodell says to him, oh, no, that's Costello's boy. I felt 6 foot tall. So I sat down, listened to the sound check. They take a break. He puts a cigarette in his mouth. I walk over, light the cigarette. And I said, Mr. Sinatra, you saved my life. He said, yeah, how'd I do that? I said, well, I told him I had polio, that, the other, and Carlo Gambino sent me a transistor radio up for my birthday. He says, who? I said, Carlo Gambino. Is Carlo Gambino gave you a transistor? I said, yeah. He said, okay, tell me the story. So, and I said, I turned the radio on, and you were doing 6 shows at the Paramount, right up the block from me. I was in Bellevue, and you were up there. And I said, you gave me inspiration to get out of there. He said, that's amazing. He said, what's your name? I said, the Kid.
The Kid.
He's the Kid. I said, no, what's your name? I said, I was told not to tell you that. He said, who told you that? I said, Frank Costello. He said,
who the fuck are you?
That's what he said, Gambino gave you transistor radio. Costello names you the Kid. He said, maybe I should get to know you. You're more important than I am. And that's how we stayed friends. You know, he baptized my son Luciano.
He baptized your son?
Yeah. Oh, I was close to Frank. And then when they were nominated, when they were trying to get JFK nominated, I was with them every weekend.
Yeah.
Because he babysat him.
Now, he was really good friends with JFK. That's well known.
Right up till he got... I was at the inaugural. They gave a ticket for Costello to go, out of respect. And he said, you want to go? I said, I'll go. I was 18. I'm sitting like 4th row. I'm watching. There was 4 presidents, Eisenhower, Nixon, they're all there.
Whoa.
And he was there, and Lyndon Baines Johnson. And I go to all the balls. Frank Sinatra produced all the inaugural balls that time. Had every major star in the world that backed him. They all wanted to be there. I have the last photograph, I got to send it to you, of Sinatra and JFK together. And he already changed his house. He was getting ready to have him come visit him and all that. And that's when he went and stood with Bob Hope. Bobby said, you can't see him no more. You got to get rid of it. That's when they got, with Marylin.
I was going to say, weren't Frank and JFK both with Marylin?
Yeah, everybody was, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody, unfortunately. Every actor I made a movie with, when they found out I was with her, there was one way if you were with her, you knew you were with her.
The scar.
Yep, she had that scar.
And it was where? It was like where her...
Right in her groin
right
area.
By the, yeah.
Who told you about that scar?
I heard you talk about that once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
because that was the identifier.
That's how they ask you. You know, when Brando, he said, I heard you were Marlon. He said, well, I said, how would I know you were with her? I said, I know the answer. Even Tony Curtis, we were doing, because, she had such low esteem. It was terrible. She was in an orphanage. That's how her and I hit it off.
Can you tell this story? I know you've told it before on many podcasts, but for people listening who haven't heard it before, can you tell your history with her? It's crazy because she's been in that picture of her over there has been in both studios since the beginning. It's like my favorite thing in here, but it's kind of wild to be with someone who knew her a little bit.
No, I got to know her by accident because they called me as I was doing all the errands, and part of my route was I went to Copa every night. Toots Shaw's was like my place, and then Dempsey's.
Jack Dempsey's.
Jack Dempsey's.
That's where they film, where Michael gets picked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they had, all the bookmakers and the bartenders were taking numbers and doing whatever, and I'd pick them up, bring them to the Wyndham Hotel. That was part of my duty. So I come out of there, and a truant officer comes up to me, had a brown uniform on him, said, "Who's this guy?" He says, "Why aren't you in school?" I said, "School?" I was like 15.
I don't do school.
I was 15, I was wearing Brioni already. He says, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 15. He says, "You got to be in school till you're 16. He gives me a ticket. I'm saying, "Is this guy nuts or what?"
And you haven't talked to your parents like at all.
No.
You're not even with them.
So he gives me the ticket, and I walk into Toots husband. He says, "What are you doing with the ticket?" "You're walking too fast." It was a joke. I didn't even get it. He gets the ticket and he reads it. He says, "This is a truant's ticket. How old are you?" I said, "I'm 15. He says, "You got to go to school till you're 16. He says, "I'll take care of it." So I paid no attention to it. Next morning, I go see him at the Waldorf. He says, "I took care of that thing. Tomorrow when you go to Dempsey's, 9 o'clock, go upstairs. Wilford Academy is up there, the hairdressing school." I said, "I ain't no Fanoke. I don't want to be a hairdresser. Are you crazy? I want to do what I'm doing." He said, No, just check in and walk out." So now...
I see why you have great hair now.
What?
I see why you have great hair now. You know what you're doing. You're a pro.
No, so I go there, and he said, where'd you just come from? Because I had to meet him at 11. I said, "I was at the school." He said, "You don't have to go, just sign and leave." I said, "Frank, where do you find 30, 40 girls 9 o'clock in the morning?" I stayed there, had my coffee for them. I was taking them to the Copa. It's like a king.
That's awesome.
But fortunately, me staying there, I met Mark Sinclair and Kenneth. Kenneth was already Jackie Kennedy's hairdresser. Well, she used to come in all the time. And Mark Sinclair was a colorist for Clairol, a major colorist. But they were partners already. I thought they were partners. They owned the shop together. I didn't know they were lovers.
Is this back when she's still Jackie Bouvier or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. Surely, because she didn't get married to him until like 53, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, they're looking for shampoo boys. So I'm lined up, and they see me. They figure, they got to have my way with me. And I said, "Yeah, hello." And the teacher told me, if they pick you as a shampoo boy, you don't have to come to you. It counts as your, credits, but you can make tips. And I saw all the cars and limousines there, and I didn't need the tips, but I saw the ladies. The fourth head of hair was Marilyn Monroe.
She just comes in there.
She goes there all the time, Lily Deshay, because she was hiding out here,
She had great hair, too.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, it was pretty good.
But she was here. Costello put her in the Waldorf for a year. To get
Frank
her,
did.
Yeah. Frank loved her.
Yeah, why did he put her in? What do you mean he put her in the Waldorf for a year?
Because she lived in California. She wanted to get away from the Xanax.
Oh.
Because they were prostituting her as a sex symbol. She wanted to be a thespian. She was studying with Strasberg to be an actress.
Yeah, she was brilliant. Very talented.
So now she was there. So now I'm shampooing her hair, and I can't believe it. I don't even know how long I'm looking at her. She's facing the ceiling. She said, "Is somebody in here?" I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry." I go over. I have the card, it tells you the shampoo, the hard shampoo. And I'm doing the touch the water. They teach me, is that, and she approves it. I start massaging her hair, and she's moaning, and she's in a kimono. I'm 15 years old. I get an erection.
You're a
well,
rock.
my three-piece set's on her shoulder. I must have been poking her in the ear. Then she started requesting me, and Costello used to meet Accardo to go deep sea fishing
Tony Accardo?
in Chicago.
Come on.
Oh,
The
no,
two bosses are going deep sea fishing together?
Yeah.
That's like putting the president and the vice president on the same plane. That seems a little dangerous to me. A little accident, Whole mob's flipped over.
No, but so he said to me that Friday, there's somebody staying upstairs. Check in on them, but don't go up till after 12 o'clock
At the Waldorf.
at the Waldorf. I go up. It's her. She opens the door. She says, Johnny, what are you doing here? I said, well, Mr. C told me to check in on you.
You're not even 16 yet, right?
Yeah. She said, come on in. I just ordered room service. I never saw room service, carts and food and all this, and, you know. And she's got her terry cloth robe on. She said, have breakfast. I said, I already had breakfast. Well, have a glass of champagne. I said, I can't have champagne. I'm a kid. She said, you can have anything you want in this room. I said, oh. I have one glass, 2 glasses. She said, I'm going to take a bath. I said, I'll go downstairs. Just call the front desk, ask for the kid. They know. She said, no, come with me. Takes me by the hand. Turns the water on. And she says to the vanity, you should brush out my hair. Well, I've done that 100 times after the shampoo. So I'm brushing out her hair. She gets up, takes me by the hand, goes to the tub, shuts off the water, and drops her robe.
Now you're excited at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, take off your clothes, get in the tub with me. I said, you're going to get me killed. She said, who's going to know? I said, you know what? Who's gonna know?
Fuck it. Let's do it.
This was Saturday afternoon. I left Monday.
Oh, wow. You had a weekend in Maryland.
Hello.
There you go.
So now I got to meet Costello at 11 o'clock. I time it right, get there, walk in. He said, what the hell happened to you? Did you sleep at all? I said, no, I can't even. I would never lie to him. I said, I tell you, I can't believe me. So I just sat down. We started our business. And that's how it all started. And then anytime she was in, I'd meet her. She'd call me. She'd put a disguise on, go to a Subway bar, go out the back door, walk up, or I'd meet her sometimes. And then when she was studying with Strasberg, the studio was on 15th Street, right off of Park Avenue. I'd go and meet her there. It was like 11 o'clock, and then we'd go and do what we had to do.
And she died in what, like 60?
She died. I'll tell you this one.
Can we look that up? 60 something.
She was in Cal Neva.
Pull the mic in a little bit.
Sorry.
See? You're good.
She was at Cal Neva. I was sent to go listen to what was going on. He said, go to Cal Neva. And that's for you audience who don't know. Cal Neva was a gaming in Lake Tahoe on the California border. So you can come in on California and go in. So they had Marilyn Monroe. I think there's pictures in the book of me and her and Sinatra sitting poolside. And what happened was that they brought her up there because John gave her to Bobby because Bobby said, you got to stay away from Marilyn for the first couple of years. You're a Catholic president. And with that said, they were going to try to hook her up with Bobby. So they had a room set up. This is Sam Giancana.
For blackmail.
Exactly, like they did with J. Hoover.
Yeah.
Because J. Hoover was a cross-dresser.
Right.
So unbeknownst to us, we don't know this. Now sun's setting, Sinatra's telling them what they want her to do. She goes crazy. I'm not having nothing to do with these Kennedys. They're this, they're that.
She's been divorced. Was she married to Joe DiMaggio? Or did I make that up?
That was already gone.
Yeah, she was done, right?
Miller was already done. She just did the Misfits.
Got it. Okay.
She starts screaming. She just had an abortion of Bobby's kid. All she ever wanted was a kid. She said, I'm going to the press. I'm going to disclose these Catholics and this and that and the other.
Bobby, not John.
Bobby, not John. She stopped doing John
she
because
had the old calf. Now she wanted the young bull.
Yeah. So now I come back to New York. He said, tell me what happened. He said, they're going to kill her. That was the last weekend in July. They killed her August 4th, 61. When did you pull it up?
62. 62?
62, yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Now, there's a lot of people who take wild conspiracies on her death. It does seem like she was probably killed. I think people take that to too far levels. But what,
it's in my book.
Think?
I put it in there. My publishers, people that don't know the publishing world, they vet everything because they got the deep pockets. They're going to get sued. I wrote this book 3 years ago and said Bobby killed her. Bobby at the time was denying even being in California. There's no way an attorney general could be in California and nobody knows about it. So I went to Sheriff Booker, and sure enough, Peter Lawford got a ticket that night on Sunset Boulevard, and they looked in the car.
Like the singer, Peter Lawford?
Peter Lawford was his brother-in-law. Peter Lawford married a Kennedy.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why he was always around. So now, not only did they put Robert Kennedy in California, they put her in the house for 4 hours before they called the ENTs. Now the ENT came together with it. You got to get this guy Mark Shaw on the show.
Yeah, that was the guy you were talking about earlier. Okay.
This guy he's opening the files again.
Whoa. Yeah, she was.
I mean, read some of his books. He's been well acclaimed, Mark Shaw.
Yeah, I've always seen some. I want to be clear. They're very, very different and very different settings. But I don't know why I do this. Maybe it's like who they were, like as a social symbol and stuff like that. But there's some odd little parallels I always play in my head with like Marilyn Monroe and Princess Diana. You know?
Oh yeah.
They met an early brutal end. There's questions about
Princess
how
Diana, you know, obviously they said she was pregnant and the Queen was not going to let that happen.
Yeah. That one's sketchy. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to stop real quick. Bathroom break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So we left off with Peter Lawford, the ticket, and Bobby. You said Bobby was up there, and you alleged in the book that Bobby was the one who had her taken out, which is definitely a controversial take, but they put it in there.
Believe me, it's more and more now coming out. In fact, there's more tapes on it now because they did a Netflix 4-hour thing on Marilyn.
Yes, they did.
And
Who played her?
And they put
Anna De Palma.
They put Bobby in it. They put Bobby was in her apartment for 4 hours before the paramedics took her out.
He was physically there. Wait, I missed that.
In the apartment for 4 hours. No, the stuff is all coming out now.
You know, I always wonder, when you look at power, you look at talent, these different things that get you places in society, right? Mm-hmm. Think about like a dynasty, like the Kennedys, and all the tragedy that's happened to them.
I don't know.
I always wonder about the world and the way it has a very mean way of balancing out. If there's like a price you pay for, you know, not to oversimplify it, but maybe the things you do or the things that your power has you do. You ever think about that?
Well, you know, I've thought about it a lot because, you know, these kids are so privileged.
Yeah.
But they use it in the wrong way. I mean, even Ted Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many unjustifiable homicides, so many things that were not proven because of their power. They sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. And now you have one running for president again. It's like...
But that I can't believe. I heard him. I had to hear this. So I had somebody send me their YouTube thing where he said, quote him, his father woke him up one night to let him know that the CIA killed your uncle. Now, if you do the math, he was 9 years old. Why would his father wake up a 9-year-old son to say, I just want you to know the CIA killed your uncle?
If that's true and he was 9 when that actual conversation happened, I agree. That sounds suspect. I do wonder, though, like, some of these people are so disconnected from reality, I could see the lack of a filter system to, you know, why would you tell your 9-year-old that? That's the right reaction. But I could totally see his dad being like, "Yo, the CIA killed your uncle. Welcome to the family, kid." Like, you know, they don't think like you and me. They don't think, you know what I mean?
No, but he said his father woke him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not passing at the table and we're talking about it and
Right.
he came up. He went deliberately to your bedroom and told you this.
Was he drunk?
Who?
That's an important question. Was his dad
Who, the
drunk?
I don't know that. No,
I could totally see that.
Specifics. Okay.
I mean, that is. I agree with you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? I would love to be a fly on the wall in some of those houses sometimes, just to see what it's really like.
Well, I know Joe is totally insane.
Did the father?
Yeah. I heard stories from Frank telling me about it.
You know, there's a biographer. I forget his name, Alessi. Maybe you can look it up. I hope I have this right. I think he was given permission to do a biography of the Kennedy family, which creates bias, right? Who tried to say that Joe had nothing to do with Prohibition and was not in it at all. And that was my reaction too.
Whoa.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Joe was running hooch from Scotland through Canada all the way down the coast.
Forget about it.
Known fact.
And I think it was more money than that. Frank Costello told me he made $30 million, $50 million, like that.
Yeah.
And then that's when he bought so much property because, you know, Costello always wanted to be a legitimate guy.
Yeah.
So he went into real estate to try to have that image. And he bought, what he owns in Wall Street, you can't believe. Still to today.
What, like the buildings?
Buildings.
Yeah.
He still owns them.
Yeah.
My building's like 60 units. He's partners in my building, where I live.
Well, his estate, like his family.
Yeah.
Frank
Well,
Costello.
no. See, no, he always used George Wolfe. George Wolfe was his lawyer. It was his lawyer since 1943. So they created all these trusts. And
Got it.
It was not in his name.
Did he ever talk about Lucky Luciano with you? Never. Because they were tight.
Oh, no kidding.
They were really tight.
No, but see, my relationship with him, and he was actually grooming me to do what I was going to do.
Like
Get the money, do this, do that, do this, but wanted me clean. He did not want me associated with anybody, and that's why he wanted nobody to know my name. You know, most people didn't know my name until The Godfather came out. They always called me the kid. Hey, kid.
The thing is, when you were telling this about, for people at home, as my little mafia historian nerd ass follows some of this stuff, Frank Costello would be the guy that would be like this. Because you're 100% right. He really he tried to tone down the mafia did. He wanted to be known. It's exactly like you say. He wanted to be known as a legitimate businessman. So it would make sense that you, being the kid, being around him, he'd be trying to groom you to not be in that. Similarly, this was part of the calculation when, at least from what I've heard, maybe you can correct this, with Vito Corleone, is that the character was kind of a combination of Bonanno, Costello, and Gambino. And both Bonanno and Costello were known for trying to go legitimate, and particularly with Bonanno.
Well, even Bill. Bill was educated.
Right. He wanted his son to not be in it. And then, like Michael, he came in. Very interesting.
The situation, I mean, and I know it to be true just because of the time I spent with all these people. You know, it was, that's why, like we said, did he ever talk to you? No. He only talked to me to what he wanted me to do. I'd meet him every day. And then when there was other things going on, somebody else would tell me, like Carmine from the Copa, or those guys would say, go here, go there. Or all that was not handled by him. And another thing that always impressed me, he went home every night for dinner and came back out and was home again by 10:30. Never stayed out late. And he owned the Copacabana. He'd go to first shows, never second shows.
That's some good discipline right there.
Oh, no.
The Copa seems like that just comes up at the middle of every mob story. That was the spot.
Oh, what I remember. I mean, to me, having people carrying their tables over their heads, in the middle of the night, bringing people in, ringside. I was privileged because of being at the Copa. I was there the night Sammy Davis Jr. was being heckled by this bowling team in Brooklyn.
A bowling team in Brooklyn.
Was sitting ringside, heckling him, go dance, do that. And the New York Yankees cleared the place. They beat up everybody in the Giant.
The Yankees, like DiMaggio and them?
The Yankees, you got to look that up. You won't believe who some of them were.
Yankees, Copacabana.
Major players.
Sammy Davis Jr.
And he swept it under the rug.
Whoa.
He got it swept under the rug. Nobody got charged, nobody. And they destroyed these guys from Brooklyn.
This is the 1957 brawl?
Yep.
Yeah.
1957. This is in an article. The Yankees 1957 brawl at the Copacabana. Every Friday I've been released. Oh, wait, hold on. On this week's I talked about the eventful Billy Martin. Go down. The Bronx. Go down, go down, go down. The Rat Pack versus the Bowlers. Yep. After a World Series loss in 55 and win in 56, the Yankees got off a slow start in 57. Weiss had been campaigning behind the scenes to trade Martin. The incident that spelled the end for Billy happened when the gang and their wives were out celebrating his 29th birthday in May. After a booze-filled dinner, they went to see Sammy Davis Jr. at the Copacabana nightclub, a spot Yankees players frequented in the 50s. They encountered a bunch of bowlers who were heckling Sammy Davis, and the Yankees players were pissed. There were numerous versions of what actually happened, but here's what I've pieced together. Billy told the guys to stop it or they'll have to, quote, step outside, unquote. They actually ended up going downstairs where they brawled. One of the bowlers, a Bronx deli owner, you can't make this shit up, ended up with a concussion and a broken jaw. Some people thought Martin punched the guy, but it was most likely Hank Bauer, and that's who the eventual lawsuit was brought against. Bauer denied ever punching the guy, and the Yankees players never said who actually hit him. Go down a little bit. Do we? There's a Daily News. There's a screenshot of a Daily News article. So they kept this enough under wraps that obviously you're right, people didn't get in trouble for it. But that's crazy.
Nope. Costello handled it all.
Of course he did.
They called him up, said, we have a problem here. He said, save it to the morning.
When did Vinny the Chin try to hit him?
That was a joke.
Do you remember what year it was?
No.
Well, I mean, he actually did take
54,
one.
54, I think. Wasn't it 54?
Sounds right. Is somewhere in there.
54. I saw him the next day.
Yeah, he had like the bandage around his head or something. I don't know if we have a picture of Frank Costello with bandage around his head. You can probably Google that.
I think about that. How does a guy get in an elevator with you and can't shoot you in the head?
Bad shot. I don't know.
Well, no, but 3 weeks later, I met Chin with him.
With him. Now, this was the thing where he went in and said, didn't see the guy, or whatever. Like, he refused to turn in who it was.
Yeah. So I didn't remember him. I didn't see him.
Now, why didn't he whack Vinny the Chin?
Why would he? He would never. That's not who he is, man. No, he'd handle it himself.
Wow.
No, these guys.
Because at this time, the other guys weren't like that.
Oh, no.
They would have handled that a different way. For sure.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, we'll put that picture in the corner. Because Vinny the Chin obviously ended up being a boss of the Genovese family.
Yep.
Yeah, with the bathrobes outside and everything.
Oh, that whole thing with his brother, the priest, and all that.
That was crazy, man. In the years after The Godfather, though, so the movie, we didn't talk about this, the movie comes out in 72, it's an instant hit. And within... I mean, I wasn't alive, but from what I've heard, within a year, people are like, this is the best movie ever made.
Right.
Were you getting recognized everywhere you went?
Oh, my God, yeah. Even now, even more so. It's funny now how many people know me. I constantly hear, hey, Carlo. Not my name, Carlo.
Yeah.
No, it's I mean, I said it earlier, I don't know if I didn't do that movie, what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
I probably, I mean, I always made money. That's one thing you have to, and I live modestly. I don't gamble. I don't do drugs. I don't do, I'm in business. I love
Right.
business.
You like jewelry and business. That's it.
That's it.
That's a good love of life. But you had said obviously when you were on set you kind of kept to yourself a little bit with Brando and everything. But over the years, as the anniversaries were coming up and stuff, did the cast get really tighter and bonded through this?
No.
Not really?
No. They were all so big. I mean, look now, they're all nominated again
All
for
of them.
movie constantly.
Yes.
So, and then Jimmy's dad. I mean, I was shocked when the New York Post called me when Jimmy Carr died.
That was recently. That was like last year, right?
And they said, we want you to eulogize him. Are you kidding me? They said, no. I said, I don't like the guy. They said, we want your take on it. They printed it.
They printed you saying, I don't like that guy.
No, they printed everything I said about him.
What'd you say about him?
Well, just stupid stuff, like, who he was. I mean, I can go, I glorify him now because he's dead. Who cares?
Wow.
No. I am who I am. This is it. There's no.
Yeah, you definitely wear it on your sleeve for sure.
Yeah,
But you were telling me before we went on camera when you came back to do the cameo for the end of Godfather 2, where they have a flashback scene.
Right.
You said you made more money doing that than the whole first movie?
Yeah. Well, for the whole first movie, I made $38,000.
Back then, that's not horrible.
Not horrible, no, but it gave me $50,000 for one day.
Better
Same
budget.
thing. But Brando, that's why Brando wasn't in the scene,
He was supposed to be in it, right?
He was supposed to be in it, and he felt what they did to him, because they topped him out at $1 million. He had a percentage, small salary and a percentage, but it topped out at $1 million. $1 million, somebody said, well, I'm going to make $1 million. He could have made $4 million.
Oh, he would.
But they cut him out.
Yeah, his estate.
So
would
that's
still
why he
be
wouldn't go
getting paid.
back. I hired him. I did 3 movies produced with Michael LaBelle and Andrew Bergman. We did Striptease, Chances Are, and The Freshman. Did you ever see The Freshman?
I saw The Freshman. Yes, you were the maitre d' in that, right?
Oh, yeah, but I was a producer on it.
Yeah.
No, I was just at the end. I wanted to be in it.
Right.
No, but we got Brando back to play The Godfather because it was a spoof.
Yeah.
And all we had to do was we just couldn't mention The Godfather. That's why every time you're about to say it, no, you can't say that. Can't call him that. But that movie was we had so much fun.
That's a good movie.
Oh,
that's Edward Norton with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
And he was a big boy at that point.
What?
He was a big guy at that point.
Oh, my God.
Brando. He was a fucking balloon.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
crazy.
I have a house on Mulholland. I have a house up there. My two youngest kids will live up there. Between Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando.
Oh, yeah.
I got a 10,000 square foot house up there.
No shit.
No,
How many
it's
kids do you have?
I have 9 boys, 4 girls, 10 grandsons, and 6 granddaughters.
That's a big family, man.
That's good.
And you have some that live, you were telling me you have some that
All over the
grandkids that
world.
live in Italy.
Yeah, Italy, Romania. My son Diamizia, his grandmother's Princess Anna, his mother's Princess Poniatowska. And I never.
Wait, not Princess Anna who lives in New York now.
No, that's another one.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but my kids, I never dated women who needed their rent paid. They were all from wealthy families because I had my boat, and I bought a boat when I was 21. I paid $3 million for it.
At 21,
Yeah, cash.
you were running some good errands for
Oh,
fucking
yeah, man.
Costello over there.
Oh man, no, we made a lot of money. Thank God.
I'll bet you did. That guy was probably printing money. So you have kids all over the world, and you said you go to Italy like every 90 days? You try to?
I try to. I
Where
was
do you
supposed to
usually
there.
go? Where do you
I
usually
go
go?
to Sicily.
Always Sicily.
Always Sicily.
Where's your favorite spot in Sicily?
Cefalù.
Oh, Cefalu's beautiful.
Yeah.
I stayed there a few
I
days.
love Cefalù.
Every time I see those scenes of Michael where it's supposed to be Corleone, but they filmed it right outside Taormina, whenever I see that, I get real nostalgic because all those same hills, like I walk through those.
Right.
It's absolute. Like if people can go somewhere, go there.
I always tell people that.
Yeah.
Forget Rome. I mean, you got to see Rome if you never saw it. But my destination, I always said I'd retire there. It was there or Amalfi Coast because my Napolitan family is over there.
Yeah, right.
And they own all of that. I mean, you go to Capri, everything is Russo, Russo, Russo. In fact, Gianni Russo, my cousin who looks like me, he just built $1 billion hotel at 80 years old.
$1 billion hotel.
Why? I said, why are you doing this? He said, I wanted to.
That's a good reason.
No.
Who wants to do it?
No, he's selling his island right now for $280 million.
He has an island?
He has an island between the Amalfi Coast and Capri. There's one island. He owns it.
How big is the island?
Oh, I don't even know.
Let's see if we can find it.
You can find it. Yeah.
Is there an island?
Gianni Russo. It's for sale right now. Sotheby's is selling it.
Oh, Sotheby's is selling an island.
His island.
Oh, my God.
Gianni Russo. Yeah. Biggest landlord in
and that's your because Russo's like a really common Italian name too. Like it's everywhere.
No, but you can't deny us, him and I.
Yeah.
263 million.
Wow.
Hello, there it is.
Those stem cells are working, man. You got a good recall.
No, but you know what the funniest thing is? I have on a 147 foot a Riva, the biggest Riva.
A what?
A Riva.
That's what you named it, like a Riva?
No, it's a Riva. R-I-V-A is the name of the boat.
Oh,
it's a manufactured boat.
Oh, okay.
That's
I don't know boat companies that well.
Big boat.
You have a 147-foot boat?
I paid $3 million for it cash. It's
Wow.
worth more than that. It's worth now It's worth $600,000 a square foot, mind. Right?
Wow.
The boat's all wood.
Wow.
I keep it in Madeira, Spain.
You keep it in why Spain?
Because it has no reciprocity with nobody.
Oh, that's right. It's very hard to get. You're right about that. I've had some guys talk about that on the podcast.
No.
Do you have any projects coming up besides some of the business stuff you talked about? You doing any acting ever again?
I want to do my book, obviously. I came up with a great idea. We have some people with it. I want to be telling my grandsons my story.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think that's a good way to go in and out of it. It's good for my ego, keeps me in it. I don't want nobody to do my life story but me.
Yeah.
I will have younger ones, but I just want to do it.
That's awesome.
I'm shocked how well this book has been received.
The one you wrote in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cover, by the way. I like that. It's
Thank
sharp.
you.
And like I said earlier, we will have this link down in the description below. But you also, I think we were talking about this before camera, you might have mentioned this quickly, you own Genco too?
Yeah.
Like you bought the name Genco, like Genco olive oil from the movie?
I own it. But Paramount didn't even own it.
Do you do any like olive oil stuff with that?
I got all of it. Go up, pull up, because you'll see it's on the website. Quarterly owned fine Italian foods.
And you have Genco underneath that.
I got the label in it. I got the label, the can from the movie. I own the can that you saw when he went over there, De Niro. There it is. There's Genco. There's the cans too.
Wow. I might have to buy that. That's great. That looks so cool. And you own this likeness. That is
There's the
fucking
can.
crazy.
Hello.
Genco, look at that.
And that's the vodka. That vodka is now #1 vodka in the world by the Robb Report.
By the Robb Report said that's the #1 vodka in the world.
Right now. November 22nd.
#1.
#1 in the world for martinis. Look at it.
Oh, for martini. Okay. All right, we're going to have to try that out. We're going to order some of this stuff. Let's see how it is. Yeah. Put it to the test. That's crazy, man. You ever call up your buddy Bobby and say, I'll throw you a few? He's going through a divorce right now. I mean, times are hard.
So he's tough. Wait, you're driving me back, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple of bottles of vodka.
Let's go.
Let's go.
A little
Cheers.
vodka in the car. Don't get a Dewey on the way there. That's not good for the business. But
No, can't do that.
We'll be all right. Well, listen, Johnny, this was awesome, man. It was a real honor to talk with you.
No, thank you.
It's crazy, like the little kid in me right now who grew up watching The Godfather more times than you can count, sitting across from a guy who not only was a part of it, but was a key part of it. It's unbelievable, and I can't believe that movie is over 50 years old. Like
It's 52 this year.
it would pass today. It's
Oh, yeah.
that good.
And it's still doing it.
Oh my God.
It's so funny. They just renewed all the licensing again. for another 10 years with AMC, all the channels. We're in 73 countries.
Do you get royalty checks at all from
Hello.
that? Yeah, I was going to say.
I get two, producer and actors.
God damn. Pays to know the right people. That's what we learned today. But listen, sir, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, you kidding?
Pleasure.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Alessi, thanks as always for helping put this together. Everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace. Thank you for watching this episode, guys. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button and hit that like button on the video. It is a huge, huge help to getting our videos into the algorithm on YouTube. So thank you to everyone who does that. And also, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can get me at Julian Dorey Podcast for daily exclusive clips that we put out from the show, or on my personal page at Julian D. Dorey. The links are in the description below. See you guys for the next one.